Te o mai kai ke mai luna mai e o nā mea huna nohi a o nā mele. E ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai kai ke mai luna mai e.
There's so much life here in Hawaii, and that's why we want to really protect it. And just in 10 feet around me, you can see, like here we got our tea leaf, what we use during ceremonies, pule. You can throw a fish on it, cook it on there. And we also make my leis with this, really, really good. Here we got our coffee beans from South America that they brought over, Arabica beans, really, really good stuff. And just in the sky, you can even look above us. We got our kukui nut trees and some guava trees. So pretty abundant. This is why we want to save this beautiful, beautiful place.
Comes all these vibrations from the earth, the songs of the earth, the trees, the birds, the waves in the ocean. Help us to vibrate at the same energy as our environment, as it goes like this. Te ho mai kai ke, everyone. Te ho mai luna mai.
We are so grateful to be here with one of our mentors, Uncle George Kahumoku Jr., and we're so happy to be a part of the process to re-green Lahaina. Valley Global is on the front lines for relief and recovery efforts for Maui wildfire victims, providing food and essential supplies with speed and efficiency to those in need.
So we're here at the Lahaina Intermediate School today. We're doing a fire break planting project. So down this whole line, we're clearing dead material and then planting basically a fire break consisting mainly of bananas. The reason we're doing that is fire burns on fuel, and all this dead grass, if it catches come fire season, would, without something to stop it, basically travel down the slope and go onto the school property and jeopardize the keiki, the kids, and the buildings. So we're planting a wall of bananas. The bananas are going to grow really tall in a short period of time, and they're filled predominantly with water. So when the fire hits it, they don't catch on fire, they just basically steam until the fire moves on, or it buys a couple hours for the fire department to get here and put the fire out. So it buys the school time to where they can put the fire out and or control it or move it away from the school. So that's what we're doing here today.
So by planting trees, we're bringing the mountain down, which basically closes the loop and brings moisture to areas where there is no moisture today.
And we're really blessed that we got all these volunteers and helpers from different farms and everybody coming down to help us. So today we're planting bananas, and look like they got some milo trees as well.
At the LahainaLuna Intermediate School, we had 100+ volunteers gathering together from the entire community. Teamwork really does make the dream work. We are planting trees to help reforest Lahaina to positively affect the climate.
Could I get digging people up on the heavy diggers up on this bridge, the shovel people down here? This is kind of what we're going for in terms of size. So there's a lot of rocks in the soil here, so the person with the pick is gonna be loosening it up. After they've loosened up a good, the two shovel people are gonna just basically shovel the dirt that they've loosened up out of the hole. Basically, we're planting these little banana cuttings off the root ball.
This is my 10th year. I have had the pleasure of living in this community and working for this community for about 20 years. I raised my son through here, and my son is now at infant college in Oregon. So this project is so meaningful for us. I've been up here for all the wildfires and I've physically been on campus. And this most recent one on August the 8th, I was up here that morning when the first fire broke out. And my custodian and I got our little water hoses and started putting it out before the firemen even got here. So yeah, so this has a lot of personal and professional meaning, having this project.
You're gonna take the banana, you're gonna put it in your little hole. Then you're gonna dump wood chips in the hole. This is really dry out here. We don't want to use a ton of water keeping these bananas alive. So what these wood chips are gonna do is basically hold all the water that we put in this hole. It's gonna hold onto it so that the banana doesn't dry out. You're gonna do that, and then you're just putting the dirt back on top.
O kamaru ulolele no e ka oi na pualono lani kukila me ka ua kilikili a olana o hulu i ka o LahainaLuna Kanika ua ula Ika makanika ua ula.
My priority for our school is to protect our assets and our kids and our facilities, and so I wanted to make sure that we created some sort of fire break, because I've been up here for all three of the fires. Being up here for the past many years, from the three recent big fires we've had, this project is huge for us because of the fire prevention. You know, this is our way to plant, not only for the ecosystem of creating that more moisture in the air, you know, the whole water cycle, but also wanting to be able to turn on sprinkler systems, or to have the banana patches, which is mostly water, to be able to have a fire block for us in between us and LahainaLuna up on our ridge here, as well as an area between us and Princess Lahaina Elementary School.
If you look up the mountain on this slope, there's a rain cloud right up the mountain right now. The only reason that rain cloud isn't traveling down to here is because there's no trees. There's trees up there, there's no trees down here. So what happens is water evaporates and transpires and gets released up into the air. Then, if there's nothing to catch that moisture and condensate it into rain, it just stays, it just continues to evaporate and basically leaves the area where you want the rain. So when you have a forest or trees or enough vegetation, one, transpiring themselves, but we also have the ocean down here that transpires all through the summer. And all that transpiration with the wind blows towards the land, the coast. If there's no trees to catch that moisture and put up particles, trees put up particles into the air that help bind that moisture into actual rain droplets, making it heavy, making the droplet heavy enough to fall back to the earth. So we need those trees basically regulating the weather in that way, where they're putting out particles to condensate that humidity into a droplet to fall back down in the form of rain.
Well, we're planting different varieties of bananas, but we want to plant a banana that has a really strong root ball or base, so that when the wind blows, it doesn't go over. So there's only a couple. Apple banana is a really good variety, and then one Filipino banana called Sabah. It's the root system, no matter how strong the wind, it won't topple over. So I think this is a Sabah right here that we're planting. But we got some also apple bananas. We got about 9 different kinds of apple. We got the real short, the hybrids. Then we got the medium, and then the real tall ones, not good for Lahaina because You know, over here has what we call the Ka'ua'ula winds. It comes from the valley. That's what ripped through when they had the fires. Those are the winds that ripped through the valley and then and caused all the damage at the Lahaina fires.
And of course, planting bananas is a great resource for the community. My campus is busier in the evening times than it is in the daytime. We have some avocado trees that some of the locals have come up. We've got orange trees right up here. And now the bananas is just another great addition to the kids being able to, have a snack if they like.
After the Lahaina fires, the question was, how do we make sure it doesn't happen again? How do we make sure that you can live here and raise a family here without the constant fear that your place is going to burn? And the first step is bring back the forest, because if we bring back the forest, the rain will follow. And Malama āina and Haloa āina had very similar goals at the infant stage of bringing back a forest, and the byproduct for bringing back a forest is life, and human life can sustain. So it started off with just a simple meet and greet with my dad and Goldine, and it turned into sending some of our plants that we grow in our greenhouse in our tropical dryland forest to see if it'll work here. There's so much that we want to work, and there's so much that we want to push to work, but the āina and the land decide what works and what doesn't work, and you really have to listen to her. And that's the goal out here, is to see what can work, see how the ecology of this land can work with us again, and see if we can make this place what was once a lush water land of what Lahaina was. And it's not going to be something that is done overnight. They say all the time, my dad says this all the time, the greatest time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And the longer we drag our toes in planting trees, the worse the situation gets, And I think at the end of the day, the reason to plant trees is because it's good for the land. I think the biggest thing that we can take away, from devastation or when there's something traumatic that happens, is that it doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter the job you're working, it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account, it doesn't even matter how many kids you have. The biggest thing that matters is how do we move forward? How do we come together as a clan? How do we come together as an ohana to make sure what's right for the next generation is being done? The legend of the first Hawaiian, you've got Haloa 2 and Haloa 1, basically the kalo and the man and their brothers. And if we can go back to the very origin of that story, it's basically man and plant are brothers. And if you take care of the plant will take care of you. And I think for generations, that has been what's missed out here. It has always been like, what can the plant do for me? Whether it's sugarcane, the sugarcane can make me money. I don't care what happens to the sugarcane afterwards, the sugarcane is going to make me money. Whether it's, the pineapple fields on Oahu. I don't care what I do to the land, I just want to make pineapples so that I can make myself succeed. And I think we have to go back to it and scratch the plant's back, make sure that the plant is thriving, that the life is there, and that we work together as plant and human so that we can succeed together, because there's no life without plants. And if we want to sustain our life here, we have to work with it.
One of the other long-term benefits of this project is creating food sustainability for the island. We live on a small island in the middle of the Pacific, and we're 90% dependent on shipped-in foods and shipped-in products. So if shipping lanes broke down, the islands in essence would have no food. So the long-term benefit of reforestation and planting food-producing trees is creating food sovereignty and food safety for the island community.
So two of the main charters or the main goals or focuses of this project, the banana wall and other plantings on campus, the mala, etc., is one, protection, and then two is getting people more reconnected with their food source, reconnected with their land, reconnected with their natural way of being.
The whole idea is to build self-sufficiency and to teach the community that use bananas. They got at least 1,000 students, so they'll be eating the bananas too, planting tea leaf, all kinds of other stuff. So when they have luau or they make food for gatherings and stuff like that, this will be like their force. So actually we're replanting a forest here in LahainaLuna. And like, they did a lot of work over here, man. A lot of work going.
The Bedford shade of lilies, the very best. Beautiful are the hilltops of Lahaina, with the fine drops of āina, the red fronds of the palai fern. Oh Lahaina, beautiful Lahaina, planet of the Pacific, a lamp that cannot be extinguished or quenched, with the strong ka'ua'ula winds, the winds from the north. The cold water meets above, runs through the Hawaii, gently murmuring at midnight, softly murmuring. The birds bathe in the upland of Kaukavele and listen to the sound of the ringing bell, the school bells. Hoi anō ka vai ma'auka vai piula, ko o nei he nehe o ke amoe o lue, au na manu o ka rauka vele, o lono I ka leo pele kanumi. O LahainaLuna Kanika ele ho'i opi o ka paketika, I pukupui a mao pi o ole, I ka makani ka ua-ula, I ka makani ka ua-ula. Welcome everybody. I know you guys are working hard this morning.
Feel free to go to valleyglobal.org and see how you can become a part of our community and help reforest and regreen Lahaina.